morning, welcome to MTH News. I'm Samishrika Pariyar. Let's begin with the top stories. President calls all-party meeting on Tuesday as House impasse continues. Supreme Court raises question over President's pardon of Resam Chaudhary. North Korea launches missile into sea amid US and South Korea drills. Asia Cup, Nepal cricket team to fly to Pakistan next week. Now the news in detail. President Ramchandra Paval has summoned an all-party meeting on Tuesday. President's press advisor Kiran Pokhrel informed that Paval called all parties for a meeting at his office this coming Tuesday. It is the first time President Paval called an all-party meeting after holding the post. The meeting is summoned in a bid to clear the parliamentary deadlock. The House meeting has been continuously obstructed by the UML since July 26. The opposition UML has been obstructing Parliament continuously with the demand for a high-level probe committee to investigate the gold smuggling case. Prior to that, Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal called all national parties for a meeting in a bid to end the House impasse. The meeting held on Sunday did not reach a conclusion and another meeting has been called for Monday. In the meeting held at the office of the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers on Sunday, the ruling side had urged for creating an environment for discussion by immediately removing the obstruction in the Parliament. The UML, however, reiterated its call for forming a high-level investigation committee to probe the gold smuggling case. Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister Narayan Kaji Shrestha had asked the parties to have confidence in the investigation being conducted by Central Investigation Bureau. The Supreme Court has raised serious questions regarding President Ramchandra Paval's decision to grant a pardon for life imprisonment of Resam Chaudhary, the leader of Nagrik Unmukti Party. The Supreme Court has published the complete text of the case concerning the Tikapur incident and described it as a cruel, inhuman and unimaginable event within a civilized society. The Supreme Court has stated that the mob led by Resam Chaudhary assaulted 8 police officers using sticks, stones and axes. They inserted spear into their eyes and doused their bodies with petrol and kerosene. The act of murder, carried out in an extraordinarily brutal, heartless and ruthless manner, is clear to see. It said in its definition of the incident. Ramesh Badal, a former Attorney General and senior advocate, believes that the statement from the Supreme Court implies that the pardon granted to Resam Chaudhary should be nullified. The Act has a stipulation requiring the individual seeking pardon to include a copy of the court verdict. However, in the Chaudhary's case, the President pardoned him without the final verdict being released. And with this, we take a short break. We'll be back. Do stay with us. Hello again, you are watching MTH News. Let us switch to the international sphere. Now in this international headline. North Korea launched a short-range ballistic missile toward the sea on Sunday. Its neighbor said, ramping up testing activities in response to ongoing US-South Korean military drills that it views as an invasion rehearsal. The North's continuing missile test showed its determination not to back down despite the US-South Korea exercises, the biggest of their kind in years. But many experts say the missile tests are also part of North Korea's bigger objective to expand its weapon arsenal, win global recognition as a nuclear state and get international sanctions lifted. The missile launched on Sunday from the North's northwestern Tongchangri area flew across the country before landing in waters of its east coast according to South Korean and Japanese assessment. They said the missile traveled about 800 kilometers, a range suggesting the weapon could target South Korea. The chief nuclear envoys from South Korea, Japan and the US discussed the launch by phone and strongly condemned it as a provocation and threat to peace on the Korean peninsula and in the region. They agreed to strengthen coordination and issue a firm international response according to Seoul's foreign ministry. The launch was the North's third round of weapons tests since the US and South Korea militaries began joint military drills last Monday. The drill, which include a computer simulation and field exercises, are to continue until Thursday. Now let's move towards the sports news. The Cricket Association of Nepal is planning to send Nepal's cricket team to Pakistan next week. In Pakistan, the team will go through a week-long preparation camp and play practice matches before taking on host Pakistan in Multan on August 30. The team will then fly to Sri Lanka to face India in Kandy on September 4. According to sources, the visas of all members of the squad were complete and the board wanted to fly the team to Pakistan as soon as possible. CAN has already announced the final squad for the upcoming Asia Cup. With these news, we have come to the end of this bulletin, and before we wrap up, the headlines once again. President calls all-party meeting on Tuesday as House impasse continues. Supreme Court raises questions over President's pardon of Faisam Chaudhary. North Korea launches missile into sea amid US and South Korea drills. Asia Cup, Nepal cricket team to fly to Pakistan next week. Now it's time to say goodbye. We will be back with another English news edition of MTH News at 12 noon. Till then, keep watching MTH Channel. Have a great time. Namaste.